we've muted the line. We've got to get the ball rolling. Got tons of guests lined up today. So if you're on the moderator line, make sure you've got no background noise and can mute your personal phone if possible here. So, yes, we're very excited. Just returned from Elevation Retreat. Gosh, Terry, it was quite a time. This is an incredible picture of the five of us taken by a professional photographer at the Luau, right, Terry?
Yes, it was at the Luau. And we feel so blessed to have gone to this great event because our family, for the first time, had joined us. All of the other trips that we'd gone on, you know, we just kept it as the Zango people. And so our whole family joined us. You can see Krista there and Michael and Ailey and then Art and I, and they took this picture at the Luau. So we were really excited to be able to have them there. But, you know, Art, the most exciting thing for me at these events, these Zango events, is to be able, especially this one, because it's a smaller group and we're really able to communicate with the leaders. For instance, having breakfast with Grace Dick and Melody Johnson and seeing Sherman there and seeing, you know, all of the great leaders, to be able to just kind of sit down with them and say hello and see what's happening and, you know, just kind of brainstorm a bit. That's what I really enjoy about it. I mean, the sun and the ocean are great, but to be a part of the great leaders and the company to be there is really magnificent.
Just keep talking.
Art has lost his pictures on the computer, you guys. He has spent all morning doing this. But, you know, really, we were able to have some of our leaders there, and that was very exciting for us. Krista was there, the Sarders were there, and Deb and Pazzo and her husband were there, Gary, and so it was a really exciting moment. Here you can see we're at the Turtle Bay Resort, and they were having a barbecue. We were fortunate enough that one of our daughters, Ailey, she actually is a personal chef, and so she did all of the cooking and all of the food buying, so I didn't have to do anything. We stayed at this magnificent villa, which was right next door to the hotel that all of the Zango people were staying at, so we were able to cook and barbecue almost every night, so it was really fun.
Yeah, lots of fun there. And so let's bring on some of the other attendees and hear their impressions of Elevation, and we're going to get into what we actually learned there. So the first guest we have is 100K Premiers, Yvonne and Eva Marie Sarda from Kashmere, Washington. Are you guys there?
Sure are, Art. How are you?
Hey,
yeah,
Yvonne.
How are you?
And Eva, great to have you there. We had such a hoot, and I just love this picture of Yvonne with this big plate of shish kebabs that we had that big barbecue that night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was great, and the whole event was just absolutely fantastic. You know, when I try to think about a one word that would describe this company and how they do things, that word has to be class. The Zango really has class. They do everything upright. They provide us with this opportunity to learn a lot about things like new products. But most important of all, as Terry mentioned, is the opportunity to rub shoulders and talk with all of the most successful leaders in this enterprise and find out how they do things, exchange ideas. It's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And they always pick fantastic spots to do it. And,
yeah, fantastic, Yvonne. So lots of great excitement there. Of course, a lot of the event was about the introduction of X51, and we're going to kind of do an overview on that. But also, you know, the big announcement with Doug Weed and his nationwide tour that's coming up. And I know you've always been pretty impressed with Doug Weed. What can you say about what you saw there from Doug and what people will expect when they go to this tour?
Doug Weed is probably the most inspirational speaker I've ever heard. I've heard him numerous times, and every single time it puts you right on the edge of the seat for his whole presentation. He is a giant in network marketing. He's been in it for years with a lot of different companies. Been very, very successful. He has written 26 books about the industry, most of them as ghostwriter. He was an advisor to two presidents, and he's written several books that made the New York Times bestseller list. One of them that comes readily to mind is All the President's Children. He is a phenomenal individual, and he has joined John Godzich in the Exco Pro operation. He will be functioning as a consultant to the company and a trainer for the distributors.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that we kind of heard on the inside scoop is that he was offered $1 million a year by another network marketing company if he would join them, and of course he didn't. And he also, just the week before he finally came into Zanga, was paid $50,000 to do a presentation at someplace in Russia. So obviously, well, he's amazing. As he said, you know, if you can bring people to my tour, I'll make them laugh, I'll make them cry, and I'll get them in. And so so really this whole summer is such an opportunity for us to bring people to see Doug Weed. And we've got a whole list of events. Don't drop the ball on this. I mean, start thinking now. It's like somebody said to me, you know, well, how can I get people out to see Doug Weed? I says, well, you don't do it by starting, this week for next Saturday. You start months in advance talking to people about it, talking to new candidates, getting people interested enough that they'll want to see him. And so this is a great opportunity for us all, and we're going to be posting his whole schedule. I highly recommend. We've got people driving all day to see him, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have some standing room onlys as this tour goes on.
As a matter of fact, our recommendation is if he's coming any place within 250 or 300 miles of where you live, make sure you get to see him and bring as many people with you as possible. We're very fortunate here in the Pacific Northwest. We're having two opportunities, one up in Vancouver, Canada, and then in August in Seattle. So there'll be no excuse for anybody living in Washington State or Idaho to miss him.
Okay, great. And Eva, I wanted to get your impressions of the overall event and how you felt about it.
Oh, thank you for having us on the call, Art. And it was just a pleasure to be over there with you guys, you know. Last year we're in Cayman Islands, and this year in Hawaii. They always put us on 5-star resorts. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love the Turtle Bay Resort. And it was wonderful spending that evening with you. We had a barbecue, and that was fun, and just meeting with your team there. And what can I say? It was magnificent. We had a beautiful view over the look into the ocean. I hope everyone gets to experience what we are experiencing right now that we had at the Elevation Retreat. And, of course, meeting everyone, finding out how they're working the business, and hearing from on stage of these people from Mexico, for instance, have such passion in their voice. And this country is very poor, but they are bringing in more premiers than anyone in any country. I just can't hardly believe it. But they're really passionate about their business. They're very passionate about the owners. So, again, of course, Joe Morton spoke, and Kent Wood, one of my favorites, was there, and Aaron Garrity, and Doug Weed was amazing. So we're very fortunate, and the time went way too fast.
Yeah, you know, Eva, I remember what you're talking about. That it was very interesting. We had two interpreters, right? We had the Mexicans there being interpreted, and that team from Taiwan. It's a very interesting thing, guys. If you want to create a worldwide business, look for people in your own backyard. As I said before, that Taiwan leg is doing over $1 million a month, and it was created because Anton had somebody a couple blocks away from him that knew people in Taiwan, in Utah, and so that fellow was there, and it was great to see the international influence.
Yeah, it was really phenomenal, and it just made a point. You know, people sometimes say, I can't afford to do the business. Some say, but the people from Mexico and Taiwan says we can't afford not to do this business because we need the money, and they really work the program, they work the ABC program, and they just create that momentum very quickly to give everybody some money in their pocket right away with a quick start bonus. So it was quite a learning experience there. And, of course, so many new things happening there as well with the new product. It was very, very exciting.
Yeah, we'll hear from you guys a little bit later on, but now we're going to go over and just get Krista's overall impressions, and then we'll fill you in a little bit more on what this X51 is all about that you've been hearing about. So, Krista Gustafson, Premier from Oliver, BC, are you there?
I'm here.
I got this great picture of you with a pig there.
Oh, that pig. That was gross.
Yeah, that was from our reception. They brought out that whole pig, and that's a Hawaii tradition. So what was it like, Krista? I mean, this is your first elevation, and I know it was quite an amazing thing that you were there.
It was a dream come true, really. Not only was it my first elevation, it was my first time in Hawaii. I'd been dreaming about going to Hawaii since I was a little girl. So to be able to go and to share it with family and wonderful business partners. I had Deb there with me. We had made that goal a year ago to go together, and it happened all because of something we wrote down together. So the thing I most took away from it, though, was just to be in that paradise with all these top leaders and to really get to know some of them on a different level. When we're at other events, there's just not a lot of time always to talk to people and to get into conversations. And I just thought that was so neat to be able to go kayaking that one day and sit on the bus with Glenn Sparks and, you know, just listen to him talk, and Anton Garrity. It was just a blast. It was just so, you've got to get there. You've got to get there. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And here's a great picture, actually, of us with Beverly Hollister there. And thank you a lot for that, Krista. Did you want to come back on a little bit later, or do you want to give your little short story now?
Yeah, I'll come back on later.
Okay. We're going to hear a little bit more from Krista later. So this is a great picture of us with Beverly Hollister. Terry, I know you kind of got some inside scoop from Beverly on the Glimpse line. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is really exciting. I did get to share a few moments with Beverly one-on-one, and, you know, the exciting thing about it is the mineral powder is coming out this summer, which is going to be very exciting for all of us. I don't know about any of you that are using it, but I just love it. It's so nice and soft and creamy. It's not like any of the other mineral powders that I have used in the past. And the pericarb oil is coming this summer, you guys. We're very excited about that. Krista had taught me something very exciting about the cream and the pericarb oil, and I'm just going to give a quick little demonstration. Is basically put 2 or 3 pumps of the cream in your hand, and then put 2 or 3 drops of the pericarb oil in your palm and mix it all around, and put not only that on your face, but on your chest and on your arms, and you should feel how soft Krista's skin is. I'm going to do that too now. And so it really does amazing stuff. So I'm really excited that all of you are going to be able to try this pericarb oil, because it truly does amazing things to all kinds of insect bites and burns or whatever, and we'll all need that for this summer. Also, that little machine that some of us were able to experience and see in Las Vegas, it is going to be coming sooner than we think. So whenever that is, that was the words from Beverly Hollister, and so I'm very excited about that. Because that will be life-changing for a lot of people.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot for that, Terry. And we're bringing on the line here now 20K from Windsor, Ontario, Deb Pazzo. Are you there, Deb?
I'm here, Art.
All right. Well, great to have you there, Deb. I'm so glad you made it. You were one of the last 3 that got in at the end there. And you just had a great time, didn't you? What was it like for you?
It was amazing. First, I just want to thank you for having me on this call. I want to thank you for that email alerting me that I was even able to go to that event. And I want to thank you for all that you do. But the Elevation Retreat, I can't say enough about it. You know, I can chart the growth of my business by the events that I've attended. Each one that I attend, I think to myself, there is no way that Zango can top this. I mean, they've reached their limits. I don't know what they're going to do from now. We're just going to have to accept we've already hit the top. Every time I attend an event, it's better than the last. Not to say that the last one was not important, because they are, but each one just continues to blow the last one right out of the water. Elevation Retreat was positively the best one yet for me, and it was invaluable. I think it was invaluable for everybody that was there. You know, the main event, what you learn, what you hear at them, you can't get anywhere else. But to be able to walk out to the pool to be able to look over the crowds and see the little clusters of leaders together, you could actually see the excitement coming off of them. It was almost like ripples out of the water in the pool. And to be able to know that any one of those clusters you could walk right up to and join in and glean from their knowledge is huge.
Yeah, Deb, they always say that half of the event is just what you learn outside of the actual main event, and so there's a lot of that going on.
For sure. Sitting down on the end of Glenn Sparks' chair after everyone has gone home, like, these are things that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
Exactly. Deb, this is Terry. I see this wonderful picture of you, Krista, and Gary, and you were so blessed to be able to have your husband there at this great event. And I know you've just gotten him on the product recently. I just wanted you to share your product story about Gary while we've got you on here.
It was life-changing. It's life-changing.
So we're talking about the X51. A few people have gotten some samples, advanced samples of this. We're going to be filling you in. But go ahead about that now, Deb.
Well, I'm just going to back up just to Las Vegas. Because I was fortunate enough to be able to attend Las Vegas, I was blessed to be included in a focus group that Art and Carrie did. So I was able to try the X51 from Las Vegas on. Unfortunate enough to run out. But at Celebration, we were blessed with more, and I did start Gary on it. And I will tell you that on the third morning, I asked him, I said, so what, tell me, like, what are you feeling? I know what I'm seeing, but I want to know what you're feeling. His exact words were, the fine-tuned racing engines in my head are tuning down, and the team of galloping horses in my stomach seem to be slowing down. Now, he's lived with that his whole life.
Wow.
And they are slowing down. His anxious mood has been replaced by a sense of, in his words, tranquilo.
Wow.
Well, that's life-changing, not only for Gary, but for the whole household, isn't it, Deb?
Exactly.
I mean, that's amazing. Thanks so much for sharing
how has this affected your relationship, Deb?
Oh, huge.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot for that, Deb Pazzo, 20K from Windsor, Ontario. So what is this all about? And let me give you kind of a little bit of information on this X51 and what is this all about and how it came to be. And so it really starts with Joe's story, and I'm so glad to be able to finally talk about it. They finally just loosened things up. But Terry and I were aware of this in April. We've been on it since April. We've had really phenomenal results. And so basically, around the time that Joe found the mangosteen, he was hearing all about this key ingredient. You know, as a network marketing executive over there, I mean, people are bringing products to you all the time, trying to pitch you on this product, that product. And there was various reasons Joe did not want to bring this product to market, but it was a buzz over in Malaysia even when he found the mangosteen. And he sort of forgot about it. You know, they launched Zango and about 3 years ago when they launched then Malaysia, and he was over there not feeling so good, got some jet lag going, you know, a little tired from all of the travel over there. And he asked one of the staff persons in Malaysia, listen, you know, if you got anything for energy, I'm just really not feeling myself today. And they says, oh yeah, we got this this product here. It's the next ginseng. And the next ginseng, wow, he looked at it. He looked at the back of the label and says, this is this product that I heard about when I was living over here well before I launched Zango. And he took it and started feeling really good. And ever since then, he's gotten some of this, and he's been experimenting and making what they call Joe's Juice, and him and Aaron were playing around with it. But they really weren't sure that they wanted to bring this to market. And then once Larry Connolly joined the team, he was in touch with this particular doctor, I can't mention his name yet, and got in touch with him and had him come into the office to make a presentation on this new product that he was working on. And lo and behold, it's the same key ingredient that Joe has been working with for the last few years. But the way that the doctor understood it and all of the science and the research that he's been doing on it for 5 years, and the way that he saw it positioned was way beyond what Joe had already known. And it quickly became very, very interesting. A lot of the executives then started trying the product, started getting phenomenal results, and basically they've been fast-tracking this ever since. And so it's really a product that Joe found many, many years ago, and through a series of events has come back to Zango. So what does it do? What's it all about? I mean, here's the key thing right here. Are you tired, stressed, or depressed? And how many people are having problems in one or two or all three of these areas? What if you had something that could address all three of those things? What if you had something that could address tired, stressed, or depressed? And you heard Deb Pozzo talk about it. We're going to hear from some more guinea pigs, as I call them, a little bit later on. But that's what we're really talking about. And so what happens is your body...
Like 5.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. Okay.
Loud and clear.
I don't know what happened there. Did you guys give your story? I heard you. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. Did you want to continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hold on a second here.
We lost
Okay,
it.
so your body gets out of balance. We kind of covered that, and this is what happens when you get out of balance. And so what we're talking about is a way here to restore that balance, and we're really going to affect two different hormones in the body. Now, I want you to understand that both men and women all have testosterone in their body, okay? It's not just a male thing. And what we're not talking about here is stimulating artificially or any other way testosterone production in the body, that there's some kind of a blocking agent, I don't remember the technical term, that stops the natural testosterone that you have in your body from being utilized or uptaked into your body. And what this key ingredient and this formula that this doctor's put together, this exclusive formula, it helps release that testosterone so now that it is available inside the body. And the other key thing is cortisol, which has to do with stress, and it is able to reduce cortisol, increase the availability of testosterone, and so it restores this balance in the body. And what the great thing about it is this particular doctor you'll be hearing about next month has a lot of science, a lot of research. He's a PhD. He's a triathlon, and basically, has done about 5 years worth of research, has clinical studies with people on this, a lot of backup on this. And so the product summary is we have an X51, and that's just, of course, the temporary name. They're working with a naming company right now, trying to nail down what they should call this product. Restores the availability of testosterone to your own normal level, what it should be, increases sensitivity to cortisol, brings your body back into balance, and helps you feel good again. I'm telling you, that's what it does. It helps you feel good. And people get very excited when they start to feel like they used to feel. So it's a very proprietary blend. It's got patents coming on it that have already been submitted. And there's a number of other synergistic ingredients. It's an exclusive formula to Zango that you'll be seeing here. So phenomenal, really, introduction to this at Elevation, calling it X51. So the best thing is, Terry, we put together what I like to call some guinea pigs, and you've heard from some of them in Las Vegas. Why don't you walk through the process of what we went through, and then we're going to hear from some of the people that have been part of this test group.
Okay, this was very exciting because Zango, of course, did have the 500Ks flown out to Utah. We all got on the product, and then Las Vegas came. And then Art and I decided, because we did have extra product, we wanted to have a few people on it. Now, we chose these people for very good reasons. They were either very stressed, or they were having something happening in their body, or their body was out of balance, that I knew that this product would be a really good thing for them. So when we had our little circle, we call it our focus group, in Las Vegas, we invited 4 people. And we chose them because of different issues, but when we gave them the bottle, I had them sign a non-disclosure, just like all of you that now have this product had to sign a non-disclosure, as Art and I did. And they did not know the ingredients at all. I tore off the back for the ingredients. And then I asked them if they would keep track and put a little paper on the refrigerator. I wanted to hear their buzzwords. Now, Art and I never told them our story, our testimonial. So they were literally taking this on faith of not only Zango, but Art and Terry, that this was going to be good for them. So they knew absolutely nothing. Nothing. We told them to take 2 tablets every morning in the AM with food, and that was all they knew. And then every week we had a focus call, okay, and we talked to them, and I asked them what was happening in their body, what were they feeling, what were their buzzwords. And I really use that word buzzwords because as they kept going on the product, days and days, 3 days, 5 days, a week, then 2 weeks, we gave them 2 weeks supply. They kept telling us buzzwords. But after the 2 weeks, I wanted them to run out. I know that was kind of mean, but I wanted them to know what their body was like before they went on X51. And it was a really brilliant thing to do because they could see the difference, and they were afraid of running out. So, Art, let's now go to the stories. Sardis, I think you guys are first.
Okay, great. Yeah, this was a life-changing event for us, and for me especially, and I shall be eternally grateful for being one of the guinea pigs. We started taking it the day after the Las Vegas meeting, and I felt what everybody else reports. After about 4 days, increased mental and visual acuity, and an unbelievable increase in energy. But I also had another thing, at
I have to say, Yvonne, that what we saw from a lot of people were things that were really expected in terms of what you've just said. We kind of expected you might see that. But the next part of your story is it was completely unexpected.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure of the mechanism of how it works, but boy, I'll tell you, it really works. Last November, I had a serious fall in Salt Lake at the convention, and ruptured a couple of tendons in my shoulder. I have been basically in pain constantly ever since, and I've been in physical therapy since the first week in January. One of the effects of this problem is that I literally had not had a complete night's sleep from November until early May, because I'd be awakened by pain sometime between 2 o'clock and 3:30 every morning. After being on this for 4 days, I slept through the night, and my pain level went way down, and I have been sleeping through the night ever since, except that I ran out. We cut back to 1 tablet a day after the first week to help it extend it, and I ran out the Wednesday before the Hawaii meeting. Now, then a great thing happened, because there's always a little nagging doubt in the back of your head. Was it this substance that helped the shoulder, or was it the fact that the physical therapy finally kicked in? And I can tell you definitively, it's the substance, because after 4 days of being off the pill, I'm back waking up at 2 o'clock every morning with pain.
Well, thanks, Yvonne. That is very powerful.
It really is, and by the way, when I got restocked in Hawaii, 4 days after getting restocked, I'm sleeping again.
Wow, fantastic!
Wow.
So that is really proof positive that it had an effect. The interesting thing is, after not going to physical therapy for 2 weeks, after I'd been on the pills for 2 weeks, I went back to physical therapy. The guy put me through some tests, and he had this real quizzical look on his face, and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "There's something strange happening." He said, "Your pain level is way down. Your flexibility and strength are significantly improved." So I told him, I'm a guinea pig in a program for a new product. He said, "Whatever that stuff is, when it comes on the market, I want it."
Wow, fantastic!
That's great.
Yeah.
So, Eva, I know you've got some information you want to share with everyone.
Yes. Well, I started taking it right at Las Vegas, and thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this wonderful focus group. I really do appreciate it. And I really didn't notice anything, but all of a sudden, I think around the third day, when I was at home, Yvonne, I came into the kitchen, I said, "Yvonne, you know what, I can't believe that there seems to be some kind of a clarity in thinking all of a sudden that just sort of kicked in, and all of a sudden you're ready to do a lot more than you normally do." I have a fair amount of energy, but I just sort of felt like, wow, this is the way I used to be years ago. I think this is exciting, you know. And we had a very
it's just so
weekend.
fascinating to listen to you, Eva. And I just want the people that are listening to this to understand that Eva knew absolutely nothing about what this might do. And so these are just from her own awareness, just her own observations. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And so that mental acuity, the more energy, and then, you know, I heard at the convention that they tested out a lot of athletes on this product. And I hadn't worked out for a week, and I went to the health club, and actually my workout load increased by 25% because I can tell through steps. I was just blown away. I was just amazed.
Wow.
I had no idea. I could never reach that level before. So this was another exciting bonus for us.
Wow,
So we
thanks,
love
Eva.
this product.
That's great. Thanks so much. Krista, I know you're just on the line. Can you do your quick story?
Yeah, I sure can. Well, I noticed a feeling of vital energy and clarity like probably 30 minutes after I started on it. And I just couldn't believe the way I felt, just like I could go. And as I took it over the week, I just was feeling so great, so calm, so balanced, real focus, real sharp focus, you know. I tend to get distracted easily because of my kids, and I'm working my business around them. And I just find that I'm really able to make decisions more clearly. I'm a lot more calm with the kids. I'm not freaking out, so to say. And so many things, just so many things that I have noticed, but it really seems like it's rebalancing my mind and body.
Wow,
So
that's great,
just
Krista.
awesome. Wouldn't be without it.
Super, thanks. Okay, Lisa Scope, are you on the line?
Just as a preface here, so that was the first group you heard from Deb Pazzo, right? And so then we thought,
I'm here.
Okay.
So then we heard. So then we started with a second group. Now we're going to hear from the second group of guinea pigs, if you will, to come on and share their experience. So this is the second group that we came on, and the same thing as the first group. They knew absolutely nothing. We had them sign non-disclosures. They didn't know the ingredients. They didn't know our stories, our results. They didn't even know what these other three that you had heard had experienced. These were just another group of what you would call blind guinea pigs, I guess. So go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because my phones are acting up. I'm in the car. Well, what happened was that I got the product, and I wanted to be very sure as what was happening, and so I was afraid to even say anything when Terry called the first time because I couldn't believe that things were actually happening. What I noticed first, though, was that I was much calmer and I was much more focused, as a lot of people have said. But one of the other things was that I was able to multitask again. I was still always multitasked, but it was kind of like I did 20 things and nothing really ever got done. And now I was able to I actually got things done. I was actually able to say, oh, hold on a second, let's finish, A, B, C, and D before we go on to E, F, and G. And before I wouldn't do that. I just had 20 things going, and it was kind of silly. The real thing, though, was the stress level. I noticed that I was able to deal with situations that in the past would make me just kind of have the Richter scale go up, and, even sometimes go off the Richter scale, where now it did not do that. It kind of just went up a little bit and then came back down, and it was just like, okay, so that's what we're going to deal with, and we're going to take care of it that way. So it was just totally different for me in that manner.
Lisa, I just want you to tell everyone the little story you told me about your son's bedroom.
Well, my sons have, a daily chore to keep their rooms clean, and it wasn't happening. And normally I would do in the past is that I would go in there and I would get very upset, and I would start saying, you haven't, your clothes are on the floor and your dresser's all a mess, and look at that, there's even clothes on hangers you haven't even put in your closet. And I would just be like diarrhea of the mouth. And what happens? Nothing good comes of that, and that's, as I say, we jumped on the crazy cycle. That didn't happen this time. I went in, it wasn't done. I just looked around and I said, you know, James, I asked you to clean your room. It's not cleaned. There's going to be a consequence for this, and you're still going to have to do your room. And I basically just walked away. And
wow.
That's not normal. Now, I have to tell you something. I have been off the product since Monday. And we spoke a couple days ago, and I said I felt jittery. You know, those old feelings of being jittery came back. And today's a few days later, and I am so jittery. I am just like I have had 10 cups of coffee. It's just it's crummy. And in fact, I told my husband, I don't know if I'm so glad I was on this focus group because I really feel bad now. And
and now you can see what your body used to be like when it's not balanced.
Yeah,
that was who you were in the past.
I was constantly on edge, constantly like walking on eggshells, I guess. And and not only me, I think my family was always walking on eggshells. The other thing, and you know, not many people have mentioned this, but when I was on the product last week, when I got a chance to sit down with my husband on the couch, I would sit next to him. I would snuggle next to him. This week, like yesterday, I was on the other end of the couch, and I noticed that, and I was like, wow. It was almost to the point where I didn't even want to be near him. Oh, my goodness, in 1 week?
This has been life-changing for your whole family then, hasn't it?
Very, very.
Wow.
So, as I said, we left to go on a trip downstate today. I would not let my family leave until we had the mail. In fact, I called the post office at 7 o'clock this morning, and I said, can I please come get my mail today because I think there might be a package for me. And so my husband went down to check to see, and it wasn't there. And so we had to leave without the package.
I sent her more product, you guys, just so you know I'm not quite that mean. We did send her more product. But I'm so excited that it has been life-changing, not only for you, but for your family, Lisa. Thanks so much for sharing.
And I am happy I'm on this test group. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one thing, before we have our next speaker, one thing I want to say, what we also did is, yes, we spoke to each focus group every week. And then we happened to be in Hawaii when we had the second focus group. I managed to get Lisa in for 2 calls, but Marnie and Loretta, we were in Hawaii, and so they sent us emails. I think this is going to be very important, you guys, to do follow-up on your people. It's very important so that they can see what is happening. And I think putting these buzzwords on your refrigerator, see what are they really feeling, and each day kind of writing down a word or two so that they know, so that they can look back at it. Now, Loretta, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Can you tell your story?
Yes, well, thank you also for inviting me into this project. It was just absolutely amazing. First of all, it was the stable energy that arrived, and it's something that I have never had. I was alert. I felt awake. I felt bright. And by the third day, and I remember saying to Marnie, aha, I think that this is something to do with the brain being turned on, or so we were guessing, and we really, truly, everybody out there did not know anything. And then as time went by, I could tell you in 1 week, I painted an entire house. 3 bedrooms. 1 bedroom needed 4 coats of paint. The living room needed 3 coats of paint. And the kitchen upstairs, downstairs, around the stairs. And every night I had stiff, sore muscles. And I woke up the next day completely recovered. And that was just absolutely amazing for me. So then the next thing that happened in the second week, I started noticing that I could see better. And just with a little bit of background, my right eye, I went blind in that about 1.5 years ago because I had a cold sore arrive under the cornea. And cold sores are stress-related, extremely stress-related. I've had it all my life. And it damaged the cornea to the point where I was going to need a cornea transplant. But in came Zango had kind of rescued that in the way that the xanthones, I just upped the xanthones. But it could only get so far with the sight, and then this was absolutely incredible, amazing, that it is healing. It has forced something, and the scar tissue that was hanging over this eye that was blocking the sight is healed, and I'm
wow,
ecstatic. Yeah,
now that is life changing.
Hey, Loretta, you got to talk a little bit about that. What it was like when you ran out.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I ran out, it didn't take very long to notice that I thought, oh my God, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I literally took a nap. I fell asleep. I with my elbow up, my head in my hand, and I fell asleep. And I'm telling you, I'm a high energy person to start with, but refused to have a nap over the years. Never did I have a nap, but I had to sleep, and then I realized that, oh my God, that's the way I've actually lived. And I had always forced myself to stay awake and to keep going. So it was life-altering for me.
Wow, that's great. And I know there's more in the mail, just so you know.
Yes,
okay, thanks
you
so much, Loretta. Marnie, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Terry.
Oh, Marnie, we'd love to hear your story as well.
Well, thank you for including me in the X51 group, and it has just been amazing. And one of the things that happened, I forgot when I talked to you before, I was involved in a little bit of that painting project at Loretta's. And one morning, I left the house at 7, drove 2 hours to get to her house, painted all day other than meal breaks, and left her home at about 9 p.m. and got back to my house at 11 p.m. And the next day, I woke up fine and was ready to have another normal day. And I'm 69, and I've been getting to this point where I guess I'm in denial that I don't ever want to have less energy and less activity. And I was having to take some naps some days. And after taking this product, I found that I had a sustained energy, but it was like a calm energy, not the adrenal
Exactly.
kind of energy that I maybe do more with, like force myself to be up and to do. I've had tremendous deep sleep, lots of good dreams. I don't need as much sleep. I wake up ready to just hit the ground running. I guess I feel I'm more upbeat and optimistic. The mind chatter, countering what my actions are, like, do you really think you should have done that, and what about this? I just feel like I like myself, and I'm making good decisions. Wow. And I don't know if I've ever had that to this level in my entire life. Ken has reported that he thinks I'm more positive. I know I'm more focused, and I've noticed when I'm out around people, I'm a pretty social person, but I find that it's a deeper level of engagement. It's like I truly am enjoying that interaction with any level of person, not necessarily just a good friend, but just someone that's more casual. So it just has something to do, right, just with your core, I guess, of who you are. I've been able to go on some fast 4-mile walks with a neighbor and do a walk and talk and be able to talk while I'm walking. And along with that, I have increased appetite, but I feel my body is more fit, and I'm absolutely not gaining any weight. But I have a story similar to Lisa's in that I was inspired to do things that I haven't done in a long time, like, touch up some paint chips that had been on a wall for 4 years, a year and a half, and I knew right where the paint was, and it was a 5-minute job. But one thing, I was in the garage, and I was inspired to clean this horrible garage, and I found this whole big corner where Ken has been putting all of the recycled oil from our vehicles, and he hasn't taken it to the recycle center. So it was just awful. I mean, some of it was in an open container and all these different jugs and everything, and I kind of hauled it all out of this area. And I was really, really upset seeing that this had happened, and maybe that I had never known about it to get action taken earlier. But I walked into the house, and I just said, Ken, I said, I found the oil in the garage. And he said, oh. And I said, I said, if that doesn't get out of there real soon, I said, I'm going to have to report you to the EPA and the FireWise committee. Because, we've had this whole big thing in our rural area about, we've had tremendous wildfires, and we're supposed to make everything so safe around our home and everything. I said, if that garage ever went up, the home would go everything, So anyway, the next day, it was gone. And I would have been expending so much of my own emotional energy over this. And to be able to just make a statement like that and have the response happen is just a new thing for me and my relationship. So thank you so much for letting me be part of it.
I just want to make a comment here, Terry, before you just go on here that, we mentioned this before. I mean, how, just reducing stress and your ability to deal with life, what kind of an impact is that going to make on the relationships that we hold so dear? And that's what we're hearing today about relationships, and that if we're calmer and we deal with stress better, we're going to get along better. So it's phenomenal.
Exactly. Thanks so much for all of that, Marnie. Great stories. I just want to tell my quick little story. When I got on it, I'm very sensitive, as you all know, and so I started with one tablet, and I wanted to work my body up slowly. And what I notice is I have anxiety. Most of you are maybe not aware of that and don't see it, but I certainly feel it. And so I do not fly very well. And I do not like, speaking and conference calls and all of that. I get really nervous. And so what it's done for me is it's calmed me right down. It has literally taken that anxiety away. And so I'm really excited about that part of it. And you can hear all the buzzwords. I have all of those things. But what it's really doing is it's balancing your body wherever you're needing it. And everybody's body is different. And so everybody's body is going to react different. And so it's very powerful. I'm really enjoying it. So Art has a question here that he's asking you how excited you are about X51. And you can push the little buttons, and I think you'll be able to look at it later and give us the numbers on it. Back to you, Art.
Okay, well, fantastic, and thank you all for sharing. It's a great launch. July 20th is when it's going into pre-launch. September 9th it will launch, and lots more details coming up. So it's just not that far away, really, if you think about it. It's just a few weeks, and you'll all be able to get some. So I know you're pretty excited about it, and we've just got the results of the poll, share results on the poll, and it looks like everybody's pretty excited about it. Can't wait.
This is great. Yeah.
82%. Can't wait.
It's marvelous.
So, pretty phenomenal. So
and I just want everyone to know, it's not like those energy drinks that people take in the Red Bull. It's a very subtle mood change is what it's doing. It's not a high and a low like what coffee gives you. It's not like that at all. It's very even. So it's really important to know that.
Yeah, and you'll hear more about this later on. So let's finish up the rest of the call. This is one of the things that I just want to give you a little bit of my marketing ideas for X51 and what I've been thinking about here and brainstorming as we're getting into this pre-launch, that fires start at the bottom. In other words, your organization, the fire of the excitement, of the energy, of whatever fuels everything actually starts at the bottom. Leadership starts at the top, but fires start at the bottom. And to me, X51 gives us this wonderful opportunity to start fires at the bottom. And the company is going to have a 1-week supply, and the company is going to have a monthly supply. Right now, it's $20 for a week supply. They're basically targeting anywhere between $15 and $20 for a week supply, and between $50 and $60 for a month supply. So it's going to be very affordable with the economy. And to me, the whole marketing idea that I've got here is what I call rejection-free sharing. In other words, if you get these bottles out into people's hands, at a rejection-free price, $20, would you like? I'm just feeling so good on this. I got on this product. It's incredible. Would you like to try some? It's only like $20. You can try it for a week. Now, I'm going to tell you that a week is not enough for everybody. We've got a couple in our downline that didn't notice anything from a week. So the week is not the be-all and end-all, but most people will get benefits from a week. The majority of people will, yet the week supply is the foot in the door. And from that, you can upgrade to 2 weeks. You can upgrade to a month. You can do your follow-up and invite them. So it's an irresistible offer. Try it out for a week's supply. If it doesn't work, I can give you your money back. You can even give some bottles away. And this feeds the funnel of a whole new group of prospects that now will be entering into your business realm, that now you have a whole new, easy-to-find group of people. And this creates this grassroots duplication. So I'm very excited about this whole idea of sharing a bottle, try it for a week, and following up and then upgrading to a second week and to a month's supply, because everybody's got $20, and it's just going to go like wildfire, and that will create a fire from the bottom up, from people getting excited about the product. A couple other things they announced. The ABC promotion is extending here until the end of September, and so it really teaches you how to do what you should be doing, helping new people get started and helping them get to 1K. And you can earn some very significant bonuses, as you know. So that's been extended. They also announced a golden ticket promotion for convention that's hot, which I'm going to be covering in a second, and also free sign-up right through the end of September for anyone that comes in on a 2K ADP. So that was announced at convention. Let's talk about the golden ticket, because anybody that's listening to this can win a golden ticket. This is a very quite easy thing to learn, really. So what is the golden ticket? I mean, this is phenomenal. You'll get 2 tickets to convention if you win the golden ticket, exclusive Zango dress shirt, VIP registration experience. How about group breakfast with the founder at convention? You're going to get red carpet, early entrance to general sessions, preferred seating. Won't that be nice? You don't have to sit at the back. And for 20Ks that have a golden ticket, you'll be invited to the premier leadership meeting. So how do you earn a golden ticket? So it basically extends back from March 1st to September 30th. What you've got to do is advance in rank to at least a 5K and higher. So if you're a preferred rep or a 1K, all you have to do is get to 5K by September 30th and earn one of your own ABC bonus. So help a new person that you've signed up get to 1K, advance in rank to 5K or higher, you've got your golden ticket. If you're at a 20K, and so it's a little harder for 20Ks to advance to Premier, we know that. So if you're a 20K and you qualify at least at 20K or higher, and you earn an ABC bonus, and you don't have to advance in rank, but you have to help someone in your downline that is at least one rank less than you earn a golden ticket, and you get one too. So in other words, somebody in your downline that's a 5K earns a golden ticket, and you've done an ABC, you also get a golden ticket. So this is hot, and I encourage everybody to go for this. Let's see how many golden tickets we can get out there. And if you're a 1K, all you have to do is get to 5K. So very, very doable by the end of September. Uh-oh. There's one other thing that happened at the Elevation Retreat, and we could not close out the call without sharing this experience with you. Just a little background. At the Elevation Retreat, at the Elite Summit in January, I re-asked Terry to marry me at the top of this beautiful mountain restaurant, and she said yes. And so we knew that our children were coming. We had this dream and this idea of our children coming for the first time to Hawaii. And so I asked her, and she said yes. So we renewed our vows on the beach of the Turtle Bay Resort. Doesn't she look incredible?
You know, you guys, this is truly a dream come true. I've been dreaming this dream of having our children with us at the Hawaii event for a year now. And I told them that, you know, this was really important for me, and little did I know that Art was going to invite me to marry him for another 40 years, and I was just so touched and so honored And I was speechless, if you can imagine. And so we got these beautiful pictures taken in Hawaii. We did it on Monday night. It was just the immediate family. I did not have all of the Zango people there because I didn't want to get too nervous in doing all of this. But, you know, this is our family. And you know, you got to understand, 40 years ago when Art and I got married, we got married in Art's mom and dad's house. And I had daisies for flowers. And we had punch and we had sandwiches for our reception. And so I never had a long gown. I never had a veil. I actually borrowed Art's sister's veil. And so this was truly a dream that I obviously have held for many, many years. And so for me to fulfill this whole day of wonderful excitement with the kids and with Art, and to renew our vows in front of the ocean and Mother Nature, it was truly a gift. So this is what we wanted to close this event with on this webinar today. I hope you all enjoyed the pictures.
Thanks a lot, Terry, and thank you for all that you've done, all that you've been. I wouldn't be where I am without you in my life, and it was a wonderful experience to go through this. And, you know, I don't, you notice you got a brand new rig down here, too. We should have a picture of those. So thank you all for coming on here. It was a wonderful experience. I'm glad we were able to share a few of these shots with you. Just a couple announcements before we get off. Next week, of course, we have the GoTeamWebinar.com webinar schedule. Guys, there's 6 webinars next week where you can introduce a prospect to the Zango story. Why don't you start taking advantage of them? And they're not for you to get on if you've been on them. They're for guests to get on. So start inviting people out to these. Let's get more and more people on this. It's a wonderful live event done by top presenters. The whole schedule at GoTeamWebinar.com. Send out a registration link to people or register them yourself, and then follow up with them after. And, of course, the XGO Pro. By the way, I just got an announcement just this morning that Doug Weed is going to appear on Fox News this Sunday, June 14th at 4:40 Eastern Time to speak on the historical significance of Flag Day. So that's the kind of guy he is. I mean, he has a lot of credibility out there in the press. And you're going to see a lot more stuff coming up like this in the future. And, of course, then this tour. Who do you know in these cities? It's not just about you. You definitely want to go to one of these cities yourself. But who do you know in St. Louis, Minneapolis, Columbus, Green Bay? Do you know anybody in Green Bay or within a drive of Green Bay? Let's rally the summer. You can build your business. How about if you had 5 brand new people out to the event that's closest to you? What if you did everything that you could? What if you just stepped it up and had a whole bunch of new guests? What would happen to your business? They will get in, they'll be excited, they'll be pumped, your business will grow from these events. So thank you all for coming on the call today. Thanks a lot, all the guests, Yvonne and Eva Marie, Deb Pazzo, Krista, and thanks Lisa and Loretta and Marnie for sharing your stories and being our guinea pigs. Thank you all. Let's open up the line so we can say goodbye and thank our guests for sharing. Aloha, everybody.
Aloha. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Aloha.